Welcome back to Custom Action Figures 101. This week it's going to be a little bit different. We're not actually going to be doing anything with an action figure. Instead, I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite homebrew tools of sorts. Being from the South, I'm what some people would refer to as a little bit of a redneck engineer. I'm big on trying, if I can make it, I'm going to make it before I buy it. And this is something I don't know if you could buy. It's a tool that I've made to help with disassembling action figures. You've seen it in use in some of my videos. Today I'm going to show you how I made it. This is my blow dryer rig. This is what I use to heat up my figures, to pop them apart. Basically, what you're going to start with is you've got a little piece of board. This is it's a 1x6, which is actually 5.5 by 3/4. 6 inches wide. And what I've done is, using a wire hanger, using a wire coat hanger, I've bent a frame. Now the frame is so that I can take a hair dryer, put it into this frame, and it will hold it up so that I can turn it on, and it blows and it heats up my action figure. Now I'm going to show you the steps. I'm going to actually rebuild the walls of it, because using heavy duty aluminum foil and some pieces of cardboard, this is just a priority mailbox cut into pieces, and what you do is you're going to want to cut pieces that fit onto the sides of it. Now I'm not going to really give any exact measurements for this thing, because it's all going to depend on what hair dryer you use. I will say that you're not going to want your hair dryer to be any more than a few inches above your action figure. Right there I'm at like 2.5 inches. When you lay a figure in there, you don't want it to be directly right down on it. You want a little bit of room above the figure so that it doesn't melt it. But you also want it to, you want it to be close enough to do its job and heat this guy up, so he's going to be easy enough to pop apart. So let's move on to the steps of making the sidewalls. Now I'm going to step back. I'm going to back up just a little bit. As you can see, the way I bent my frame is I just bent it around so that it's wide enough. Got a couple of holes drilled into the face of the board on the front and on the back. The coat hanger bends. There's a piece that goes inside of the board. I've got holes drilled the same diameter as the coat hanger wire. I've actually got them super glued in so that they hold in there steady. And then you're going to want this part to be the correct width so that your dryer fits in it and it holds it. And with this, you can put it in two different ways. You can put it into the side. I'll raise the camera a little bit. You put it in from the side, or you can spin it and put it in from the front. And I've also got these bent so that it will actually hold the dryer in a few different positions depending on how much heat I want. But anyway, once you've got your frame bent and glued in onto the board, then you're going to take your measurements of what you've got at the bottom, what you have at the top, and the sides, and you're going to cut your cardboard so that it fits onto your frame. You're going to want one for each side. You're going to want one for the back. And for the back, once it's on there, I actually leave a little bit of a gap, about a 3/8 of an inch gap at the bottom, to give a little bit of space for the hot air to vent a little bit. And then for the front, excuse me, I actually have the way the door is cut so that when you put the dryer in, it fits in with the handle of the blow dryer. Once you get your 4 pieces cut, then we're going to move on and we're going to cover them with heavy duty aluminum foil. Now that we've got our sides cut out, we're going to want to cover them with our heavy duty aluminum foil. Again, by just taking your foil with the shiny side down, dull side up, take your side piece, and then we're going to wrap it in the foil. Now, we don't particularly have to worry about trimming the foil down. Just get a piece, fairly decent sized piece. Fold it over. Fold it over again here. Fold it over. And you're basically just going to keep wrapping, keep folding it until you've got all the foil wrapped around it and covered good. Fold it one more time there. Fold it one more time there. And fold that piece over. There, now that we've got it wrapped in foil, I'm going to take some 2-inch wide masking tape. Now, I do suggest using masking tape instead of duct tape because the masking tape holds up the heat a little bit better. The glue on the duct tape wants to melt pretty easily under heat, and this thing, it does put off a good bit of heat, so better off with the masking tape. And then any of the little flaps we've got left, we're going to tape them up. Now, it doesn't matter really that you've got tape on both sides of it, because the foil is mainly just for insulation. You know, the reflective qualities of it aren't all that important, because it's just going to insulate the little oven chamber and keep your heat on the inside. So you just want to make sure you've got your foil taped down good. And you're going to do this with all 4 of your side pieces. Okay, now we've got all 4 of our pieces, our 2 sides, our back, and our door, wrapped in our aluminum foil. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the sides and the back on this guy. To put the sides on, really simple. put it up there. Take your same masking tape, we're going to cut ourselves a piece and get it down here so you can see what we're doing. Going to put our piece of masking tape onto the foil front and then wrap it around the wire frame. I'll do the same thing on the back. Got our piece of masking tape. Put it onto the front and then wrap it around the wire frame. Take any extra pieces we have, take another piece to go across the bottom to seal up the sides. And then roll a piece at the top. Seal off the top. And we're going to do that for the two sides. Another side piece here. Frame, wrap it around, Then for our back piece, as I said earlier, I want to leave just a little bit at the bottom. Go ahead and seal up the bottom of this side. Put a little piece coming over the top. Now, just to hold it off where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and cut my pieces to hold it on the side. use my scissors as a little bit of a gauge so that I get the gap that I want. Because we want a little bit of a gap in the back for any excessive heat to be able to escape. That side. And take that side. Now, as you can see, I've got my little gap in the back there. Let out any extra heat. Got my sides insulated. Then we're going to take our front piece, cut a piece of tape, to go down one side of it. And that piece of tape is going to actually act as a little bit of a hinge for our front door. Being that it's going to be our hinge, we're going to want to put a couple of extra pieces of tape on it to reinforce it. And then we have our door. Now, one other thing that I haven't showed you yet, I have 4 screws put into the bottom of this thing. And basically, that's just so that I can level it. You can screw it in or screw it out on each corner to get it level onto the surface you want it to sit on. Now, when we get ready to pop apart our figure, we just take it, throw it inside here, and when we put our blow dryer in, it's going to sit a nice safe distance away from the figure. We can close our door up, turn on our blow dryer, let it sit for anywhere from 30 seconds to, you can let it sit for 2 or 3 minutes, depending on what you're trying to do with the figure. If you're trying to crack a torso, sometimes it'll take a little bit more heat. Usually within 30 seconds or so, you'll be able to start popping off some of the easier to remove parts, such as the feet, the hands, the head. The head will usually pop right off without any heat. But sometimes, the hands might be a little snug, and to keep from breaking pegs, it's best to just stick it in there, let it get nice and softened up from the heat, and then those guys will pop right apart. But anyway, that's one of my secret weapons I wanted to share with you guys today. On next Tutorial Tuesday, we'll actually go into and revisit disassembling a modern Star Wars figure. We'll get in there and heat one of these guys up and pop it apart and show you how to crack open the torso and all of that good stuff. I know Star Wars The Force Awakens is coming up. I think we've got, what, 44 more days until it's here. I personally can't wait for it. I know a lot of you Star Wars fans out there are looking forward to. So next Tutorial Tuesday, we'll get into disassembling a modern Star Wars figure. Get a little bit into the Star Wars swing of things. But anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in to Custom Action Figures 101. Like I say every week, be sure to visit us on the forum on SERPENTOR'S.info. Be sure to check out the news site at SERPENTOR'S.com. Be sure to check out my site, GalacticPlastics.net. I'm actually in the process of redoing my website a little bit, so go check out some of the stuff we're doing to it. And as always, you can find all of us on Facebook, Serpentor's LAIR, GalacticPlastics.net, and even look for my Custom Action Figures 101 page, where I kind of keep an archive of all of our reviews and tutorials. Be sure to check out the review we've got coming up next weekend. Be sure to give the video some love, share it, like it, and be sure to tune in for the next one. Thanks again for joining us, and may the Force be with you.